We're here at Friendship Assisted Living behind the building today. We are grilling outside. We got lucky. It's a great day. As promised, we have some grilling tips in honor of Father's Day coming up.
We do. Whose father doesn't like grilled food?
And if you don't like grilled meat, grilled vegetables or something we'll talk about today too. While you're watching today, be sure to like and comment. Like every live we do, we have the biggest gift so far. So if you want to see right here, Aaron, show us what's going on here. What do we have here as the prizes, Art?
Well, we've got a 14-inch char grill. We've got a bag of charcoal briquettes and a
little golf set.
Yeah. And who knows?
So that's for the father of yours or man in your life or woman in your life that fills that role that might like to be doing some Father's Day garden or golfing or grilling out.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so let's get started. What do we have here today, Art?
Okay, well, so in order to get started for grilling, you got to have the right tools, you got to have the right setup. So the first thing we do is you want to round up the things you're going to absolutely need to get started on this. One, you're going to want a clean, hot grill, of course. You're going to need a pair of tongs or some way to get the food from and off the grill. You're going to need a clean plate to put your food on. You're going to need some way to light that grill. You're going to need a thermometer to check the temperature and make sure that everything is cooked. We don't want to have any mistakes on the food temperatures there. And my secret weapon is this. Pam, some of you might know this is Pam, a brand name. It's a spray oil, right? This is the way we're going to keep the meat from sticking to the grill without getting it all oily and having flare-ups from having too much oil on there. Today we've got a pork chop. We let all the food kind of warm for about half an hour or so outside. We don't want to start with cold meat. We want to start with room temperature meat.
So what happens if you start with cold meat? Can you just run it under the faucet?
If you start with cold meat, it's going to want to tend to shrink up a little bit. It's going to make it a little tougher. It's going to make it cook a little bit unevenly. It's just not as good. You want to bring it up to room temperature first.
Sit it out on the counter is okay?
Yeah, sitting on the counter is good.
Okay.
Only
Hi,
about
Rita.
half an hour or so.
Hey, Susan. Hey, Miss Diane and Aaron and Rebecca. Make sure to add your questions for Art. We've got a professional here. This is the time to ask those questions about grilling. And I know I have a lot, but you guys go ahead. I'll let them know what you're asking.
What I've got here is a little sirloin steak. Sirloin steak can be a little bit chewy and tough for some people, so what I've done is I've tenderized it. In case you're wondering how to tenderize a steak like this, you could buy some of the man-made tenderizers. But I'm going to tell you that any kind of acidic food works just as well as any of that. So look particularly for acidic fruit juices, things like pineapple juice, papaya, mango, limes, and lemons. Make an excellent marinade for steaks. When you marinate a steak in that, you're going to want to make sure you remove all that marinade off. You don't want sugar and you don't want oil going on the grill. I've got a piece of chicken that I marinated. I wanted to talk a little bit about the chicken that I'm using here. Dark meat does much better on the grill. It has a little higher fat content and it's got a little bit more flavor, right? And so if you are considering chicken grilling for this Father's Day, I would highly suggest that you try a chicken thigh. A boneless chicken thigh does really well. It'll marinate real nicely. What you want to do is make sure when you throw it on the grill, it's got a shiny side and it's got a not so shiny side. The shiny side goes down first.
Well,
right?
Why is that?
It will not stick to the grill as bad if you do the shiny side down first.
Okay, okay. Huh, things I really had no idea about. I know that when I've grilled in the past, it's fallen apart, it's been a mess. This is a lot better and it looks a lot easier when you do it.
Well, hopefully today it won't do any of that. Finally, I've got a little piece for some of you folks out there who might like the more eclectic tastes. Here I've got a tuna steak. A tuna steak probably about the easiest of these things to cook. Number one, it's only going to be on the grill for maybe 4 or 5 minutes tops. Number two, some people like it very rare. That's the way I like it. And it's real easy meat to deal with. We're going to spray it real well with the oil. We're going to throw it on there, turn it once, flip it, turn it once, and pull it right back off. So there we go. We got our meats going. This would be a great time if you were grilling for your folks at home to start getting your vegetables prepared to throw those on as well.
So meats come first, and we talked about temperature and how long do you cook a meat like this, and is there a different temperature for different types of meat?
There is, absolutely, yeah. So you want to make sure that you've got your meat thermometer. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure the steak here is at least 140 degrees. 140 degrees is going to bring us about medium rare, medium, something like that. The pork chop also needs to be about 140 degrees. That's right, 140 for a pork chop. Some people like to cook the pork chops all the way well done, but according to the Department of Health in the state of Virginia, you are okay to eat a medium rare pork chop if you so choose. For the chicken, however, that's not true. We're going to need to cook that all the way to 160 degrees. I like to go to 165 just to be on the safe side. If 165 is good, 185 is not better. Stop it at 165, that's where you want to go. If you go too hot, it's going to be a dry piece of chicken. Nobody wants that. And for this tuna, we're also shooting for about 140, maybe 145 degrees. I like mine very rare. I'm going to go 140 on that one.
Okay. I see you, Diane, that you're out there today. Thank you for tuning in. Diane is a loyal watcher and commenter on our Facebook site. Diane, if you have any favorite items to grill, we'd love to hear from you.
So I put the items down on the grill. I've let them go for about 3 or 4 minutes on one side. I'm going to turn them 90 degrees. So fighting the urge to flip them, keep looking up under there, just kind of leave it alone, throw it on there. This will be a good chance to catch up on some small talk, maybe with some people at your party, or pop your favorite beverage, whatever it is you're going to be doing. But leave this stuff alone. Do your best to leave this alone while it's doing its thing.
It smells really good, Art. So our residents at Friendship, we started grilling more when we changed out our equipment in the kitchen. So we used to grill outside like this, but it would always be a rainy day when we grilled, right?
Yeah, either that or I'd set off the alarms and we'd get the fire trucks
We
over
do
here.
have a lot less alarms now. We've got a proper hood and everything inside the kitchen, so we can grill anytime.
That's right. So now we do this on almost a daily basis, actually probably about a daily basis. We're grilling something inside. Grilling is a great way to impart flavor into the meat without adding any kind of fat, and you're also not adding any sodium to it. So it's a great way to get a lot of flavor without adding a lot of unnecessary nutrients.
So those heart-healthy diets.
That's right.
You want it grilled more than breaded or fried.
That's right.
Definitely. Okay.
That's right. So we're going to flip these guys now. I think we're looking for the perfect crosshatch.
I see. You've got it there.
We got one there. This one had a little bit of a rub on it, so I didn't expect to get much out of that one. Our chicken is looking pretty good, and this tuna steak ready to flip, and it's sticking a little bit. I might not have sprayed it quite well enough.
Oh, that looks great, though. That looks really good. I don't think I've ever had a tuna steak, just tuna fish.
Oh, yeah, this is so good. Yeah, grilling the tuna steak is the best, I'm telling you. We do salmon every Friday night here, and about half the time we throw it on the grill, and so that's a fairly common fare that we have here.
Kim's watching today. Kim's on our team, and
Hey, Kim.
she loves your food. I know I do, too.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Towards the end of the show, I'm going to have a tip about all this, like how we're going to do all these things. So if you stick around to the end, we'll give you the cook's tour, the cook's tip.
Yeah, to make it look like it's professionally grilled. You know, I've bought these pre-cooked chicken breasts out of the thing. They come with the grill marks on them. It makes me look like I really know what I'm doing, but I don't. So this is great.
I'm not even sure those are grilled on. They might be painted on for all I know.
Well, possibly. We don't do it like that here,
No,
though.
we don't do
It's
that.
the real deal.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We don't do that.
So about how long should you budget for cooking your grilling? If you're preparing other things, you need to get it out on the table by a certain time.
Okay, so you're going to want to go about 3 or 4 minutes on one side and turn it 90 degrees and do another 3 or 4 minutes. So
Okay.
you're looking at about 6 to 8 minutes on a side for the chicken. It's hard to give you a time because we're looking actually for a temperature, not a time.
A temperature, not a time.
So I'm
That's
looking for 165 degrees, and this piece of chicken isn't going to be anywhere close, so I'm not going to check it just now. In fact, it won't be ready for the segment, but that's okay. We'll pretend. It takes about 12 minutes from start to finish for the chicken, about the same for the steak, maybe a little less for the pork chop, and a lot less for the tuna.
I noticed you use the cooking thermometer a lot, Art. That's kind of like your go-to, whereas I'm not really familiar with that. So as an experienced chef, you kind of get to know what temperatures are for which things and how often you should be checking them.
Sure. We're concerned mostly with the pathogens. We don't want anybody to get sick from things that are undercooked.
Okay.
And so, we make sure that we're following the minimum cook temperatures.
Okay. Sounds good.
For that sort of stuff. And some people prefer their stuff a little bit more on the well done side. We can accommodate that too without burning it if we have a thermometer. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend them. You can get them at the food for the equipment aisles on any grocery store. This is a digital thermometer.
Sounds like we have, Diane mentioned that she loves salmon, which is, you said we did that every Friday pretty much for a long time here. Mm-hmm. And we always do a lot of fish on Fridays. She loves also barbecued meats. That's one of Diane's favorite things as well. Diane, I love salmon. I've gotten to experience it a lot more here with Art, and it's good. It's much better on the grill. I really think it is.
Oh, absolutely,
versus baked
yeah.
fish. I like that the grill marks. They actually, it does add a lot of flavor.
It does, absolutely.
And I know that it's better than breaded things, but that's something we offer as well.
So we're...
All right, so Art, if we were here the whole time, we would watch you cook this. What do we have on this tray here?
All right, so what I've prepared here is a typical fare for us. We've got a fair amount of vegetables and some potatoes and stuff like that grilled over here. I've got the chicken that I did earlier. It was marinated, and we did it on this grill exactly the way I've shown you. I've got a tuna steak that was done also on this grill exactly the way I've shown you. We have a marinated steak, a teriyaki marinade, and a pork chop. I put on some zucchini squash with just a little bit of olive oil, a tiny little bit of salt and pepper, let it soak for about 5 or 6 minutes, and threw it on the grill. Same with the yellow squash here. I took some red onions and grilled those off. They're delicious like that. Some red peppers and green peppers also grilled like that.
So you pretty much do your whole meal on the grill if you do your
Pretty
vegetables.
much the whole meal. Now you might wonder, how do you get a potato to keep from burning on the grill? And okay, so this is bringing us to the final cook's tip that I've got.
All right, this is the big tip. So if
The
you don't
big
take
tip.
anything from today, what you're about to say is the big tip.
Here's the big deal. Okay, so how do you cook a potato on the grill? Well, it's the same way that you might cook all of this for a crowd that's coming over to your house. You put the grill marks on it ahead of time, and then you can finish it off in the oven. Once those grill marks are on your piece of meat or on your potato, the grill's work is actually done. It doesn't matter if you finish it up out here or finish it up in your oven at home. So what we find here in the kitchen is that it's a lot easier for us to control the circumstances of the cooking if we take it off this grill, put everything on a sheet tray, and then finish it off in an oven at about 350 degrees or so. We check the temperatures. It's a lot easier, a lot safer. We don't have to keep running in and outside to do things like that. So that's how you cook a potato on the grill. Mark it up first, put it on a sheet tray, finish it in the oven later.
So that's the secret to a good chef. We know it's safe, we know the temperature's good, we know it's got that flavor from the grill, and it's ready to go, it's completely warm. Okay, Art, thank you so much. I feel a little bit more confident for this upcoming weekend. If I decide to do that for my husband and do some grilling, I think he'd be very surprised, and very pleased.
Very pleased, I can almost guarantee it.
If you guys have other questions or comments, feel free to drop them in the comments below. We'll be reading them in the next couple days or so. We can answer them for you still. This might have started some questions for some people about, hey, I didn't know you could grill a potato, compared to fried potatoes. But thank you guys for joining us today. Happy Father's Day. Have a great weekend. And thanks for joining us today at Friendship.